September today. A good crowd on hand and seemingly ready to go in the Motor City. Today, it's a Week 14 matchup that should be a good one between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14.
Kene Nwangwu now out of his end zone.
And not a good return here at all as he'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line. They start the drive with Cook. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give him the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
That time, the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold him.
Play action now. Cousins rolling to his right. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards. So that'll bring up second down.
Not a lot of running room there, not a place to make a cut and kind of exit out because they had everything bottled up. Looked to me like the linemen were taking on their blocks really well and giving up no creases.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Cousins. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. Cousins gives way to Cook. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call run fits, everyone was in the right place.
On second down, Cook. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook hitting double digits with his 10th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are on the board first here this afternoon. Joseph connects on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
They'll start on the ground with Gibson.
Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here.
On first down, right back to Gibson.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48.
Just a terrific run there, Charles, from a running back who is so compact and powerful, and that strength was on display there.
A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29.
Here's Gibson on the read option.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
This defense for the Vikings, they really played well a week ago in that win over the Jets.
And I think our statistician, we ended up having to bring the blue tent and put it around him for a while because he was developing a hand injury from having to write down all the turnovers this team forced. 5, 6, 7, 8. Absolutely unbelievable. I hope he'll recover.
2 yards on the pickup there. It's fourth down.
He handed it off there, but I don't really know if he would have kept it or tried to do anything else if it would have mattered.
Yeah, it's not always a wrong read when a play gets stacked up. Sometimes they're just at the line of scrimmage. There's just too many bodies to maneuver.
And as a result, now they're looking at a fourth down. They'll go. It's Gibson.
And he's going to have a first down as it's brought down at the 44-yard line. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on fourth on their own side of the field. Close to the 50, but their own side of the field. They only needed a couple of inches, and they were able to get it done.
And it doesn't matter whether you're a zone blocking team, a man blocking team, gap blocking, whatever you want to call it. When it's in this situation, it's really man-on-man, isn't it? Who's going to win the battle? And right there we saw it. At the point of attack, find enough yardage to pick up a first down. Give them credit for that one.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss.
Hey, kill.
They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. Play fake, Brissett.
Now, quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete.
That's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
A long way to go here on third down for the 8th play of the drive. Now Brissett. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first.
That's the end of the first quarter.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Brissett to throw for it on fourth. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted.
Andrew Booth picks it off. And the Vikings are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on fourth down.
It
It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. Following the interception, Cousins. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Running off tackle with Cook. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Julian Okwara there to bring him down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because, you know, those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
I usually hesitate when I say a guy's got world-class speed, but this guy might. So let's fire the starter's pistol. Let's go. If you've got him, you've got to try and use him. A lot of anticipation with the ball in the air, but no, incomplete.
The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. So now 3rd and 10. A big play to start the drive, but nothing since. Here we go. To throw is Cousins. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. He's going to pick up the first down and then some. Touchdown, Vikings!
And what a weapon he is at the tight end spot, because when they throw him the football downfield, they count on him getting additional yardage almost every time. And that's exactly what he did there. Caught that, ran with it, all the way to the end zone.
Joseph connects on the extra point, and it's now 14-0. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Charles, it's kind of gut check time. Look, I know it's early, first quarter, just their second drive of the game, but they've already thrown the interception, given up the score. You're down. He's got it at the 15. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line. Well, he's been doing this for a lot of years. The arm strength still there, and he showed it off on that one.
And to be honest, this first half hasn't been anything they'd be really proud about. So they needed something like this to change their fortunes. Now they need to make sure they finish this one off, not just with points, but with a touchdown.
The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
That's not the first time they've gone his way on this drive, and they were obviously keyed into it because they were there to help break that pass up.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Brissett now. He's got it to Williams. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
Brings up 3rd and 1.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. And incomplete here to bring up 4th down as the rookie couldn't haul it in. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
They get this out quickly to the left side. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th.
We always talk about big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments. I think that 4th down qualified. That was a heck of a throw.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. To Williams on the jet sweep. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big, or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
Throws out left. It's caught by Williams. Touchdown! Jamison Williams, his 21st touchdown of the season. And the Lions have cut it back within a score. Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll make our score 14-7. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They are back to 500 on the year, got the win last weekend, and it's one that kept their playoff hopes alive.
And if you do have those hopes, 500 is not where you want to be at this point of the year. Now, we know they've battled through some rough patches this season, so it now comes down to how they're going to finish. Not out of it, can't afford any more missteps, though.
And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up the touchdown.
Play fake. Cousins. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. A gain there of 30 big ones.
That's a great job of working the sideline right there. I love how he tracked the football the whole way. Just reached up and pulled it in. Had excellent field presence to understand where he was in order to make that play happen.
Dances by him, and he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 55 rushing yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter.
14-7. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. They run again on first down. Cook. And he'll just plow right into a host of tacklers. Nothing there at all, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They run it again with Cook. And here's another tackle made at the line. So they're converging around the football now. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. They scored touchdowns on drives 1 and 2, and now they're trying to make it a perfect 3 for 3 to start. Cousins now. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and this is scooped up by the Lions. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
We'll give some credit to the defense. They forced the big play, knocked the ball free from him, but that's a cardinal sin by the quarterback. Know where you are on the field, and he just gave up at a minimum 3 points.
Instead of getting down, takes the contact. The turnover ensues. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. These two teams, you might recall, met up back in September in Week 3. And it was the Lions who got the road victory in that one, so they'll be looking to claim the season series now here at home in Detroit. On 2nd and 10, Brissett. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
The offense schemed going 5 wide, trying to create a chance for the big shot, and they took it. If he comes down with that one, that's a huge offensive swing. But credit the defense with a nice play, knocking that one away.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. To throw is Brissett. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. Normally, I'd say this will lead to a punt attempt, but this offense already shown in the first half that they'll go for it on 4th down.
Oh, they should have already said, punt it, punt it. Head coach should have already made that decision.
Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And with only 4 seconds on the clock, time likely for just one snap of the football. Trying to lay one up deep. And that is incomplete. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It'll be Lions football to start the second half, and they trail here as we get back underway on EA Sports. Offense ready to kick off their next drive.
Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well. They've kept them around in this game. Now, they got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
Brissett on first down. He's airing it out for Williams. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Lewis Cine. And the Vikings are going to get it back here just shy of the 20.
Well, I certainly think that we're seeing a big reason why this team has struggled to put points on the board so far, because too many of their drives have ended in turnovers already, and we still have almost a full half of football yet to play.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And some space here. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. 78 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
And the Vikings first down.
They go play action. Cousins. That's to Dalvin Cook, his running back. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch, I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
And Cook getting the call there on first down as he works his way forward for a nice gain of 5.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Again, it's Cook. Able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here, because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
And the Lions going with an extra DB here on 3rd down. Throwing is Cousins. Hit as he throws there, incomplete. That one doesn't find its target, but all in all, he's been much sharper this week. He was under 50% a week ago, and now he's up over 70%.
Well, you know it's standard for quarterbacks and receivers get together for a little extra time each and every day in practice. I get a sense they got together for a lot of extra time this week to try and improve that passing percentage, and it's worked out quite well.
The kick by Joseph is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx it.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this, because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Gotta imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Perriman in motion right. Another try after the first down sack. Brissett. And pass caught. It's Williams. And they're able to get this one across the 35. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
19 yards. And the Lions first down. 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line.
To throw, Brissett. Finding Williams once more, complete. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
24 more yards. That's another Detroit Lions first down. First and 10, 39-yard line.
First down, Brissett. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
So 2nd and 10 now here in the third quarter from Detroit. On play action, Brissett. That's going to be caught by Josh Reynolds. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. That one almost intercepted, but it's incomplete. Not a good throw there, and it'll be 2nd down. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. 49 yards rushing for him now in the ballgame. Decided to hit it off that time on the run-pass option.
Appeared to be an easy decision. Just gave it inside. Nice steady gain.
3rd and short yardage, Brissett. Throw left side complete. That's Williams. They'll wind up losing a couple yards here on the play, and it'll be 4th down. Boy, how good has this defense been seemingly all game long?
I really think right from the first snap, I think you're really onto something there. In this passing game, it just can't get off the ground. In that play, it wound up losing yardage.
And his kick here is good. And they're back within a touchdown at 17-10. So 3 points, maybe not a grand prize at this stage, but it does get them back within 1 score.
It certainly does, because now they stay within shouting distance. So that means everyone on your sideline stays engaged in this game. They know they still have a shot.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well. So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Cook up the gut. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the 3rd quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the 2nd half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
Now, meanwhile, a final play here is incomplete, and that's going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter of play. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. This offense so far on 3rd down, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation.
And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17.
Following a good run by Cook. Here's another 1st and 10. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. Tackle made there by the UCF man, Mike Hughes. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball and continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. He's going to get 4 out of this as he's down to the 10-yard line.
He was brought down at the 10-yard line. It's a gain of 4. And it's 3rd down.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up.
Cook is in. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Dalvin Cook, the ball carrier.
Well, that's certainly going to bump up the old win probability index because now it's a 2-score game here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you're taking me into that deep water now. Win probability index. This game's definitely not over. We're not looking at a 0.5% or something. It's just 2 scores. But the way that this team has played, to me, what I've seen, they absolutely deserve to win this game. They've been the better team by far throughout.
Fair catch made at the 25-yard line. The Lions take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Off the play fake. Here's Brissett. He's airing it out for Williams. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Harrison Smith.
And the Vikingsons are going to take over at their own 28-yard line.
If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
1st down. Here's Cousins.
Complete. Jefferson the target.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
A gain of 12. And the Vikings 1st down.
Good route there. Hey, no, easy.
Cousins on 1st down.
And this one right back into the hands of Jefferson.
And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That one good for 37 yards.
No let up in this passing game. They've been a well-oiled machine throughout. And actually saw a few guys on the sidelines at the end of the 3rd quarter doing the old hold up 4 fingers college sign, meaning the 4th quarter is ours. And they certainly weren't kidding.
Meanwhile, Cousins' throw taken in by Hockenson here.
Touchdown, Vikings! T.J. Hockenson with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Vikings are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this 4th quarter lead. Joseph connects on the extra point.
And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21.
Greg Joseph to kick off for Minnesota.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown.
Fair catch made at the 25-yard line. The Lions take over first down 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out?
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this belongs to the Vikings. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the fourth. It doesn't matter. The coach still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week, because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve.
And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
Here's Cook again. Able to slither by. And here he'll get it down to the 7. After a gain of 5, they'll wind up being about a length of the football short here on 3rd down.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
3rd and short yardage. Cousins. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Kirk Cousins with 3 touchdown passes now in the afternoon. And the Vikings up the lead to 4 scores now here in this fourth quarter. Joseph connects on the extra point, and that'll increase their lead to 28. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown.
Fair catch made at the 25-yard line. The Lions take over first down 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. And he is going to be taken down. They got him. As that is going to take us to the 2-minute warning. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Brissett. That is caught. It's Williams. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. 4th down, Brissett. That is caught. It's Perriman. And he is going to have the Lions first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive. Brissett now. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. He's got a man, complete. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with 65 seconds remaining. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Brissett. Trying to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Lewis Cine. And the Lions force the turnover. They'll take over at the 10. So the holding call on the offense, so they go ahead and decline that one and take possession of the football on the INT. Throwing here, Cousins. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. Now they get a fourth quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. The first carry now for the BYU man. It's Jamal Williams. It'll wind up being a huge loss on the play, and that's going to bring up a second and about a mile here. And yet again, this run game just continues to be completely shut off.
Completely stymied. I mean, they're trying to get some consistency, trying to find places to roam. They just haven't been there throughout this game.
On second and a long way to go. Brissett. And this one is incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Brissett. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Now Brissett on 4th down. He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. Cousins here to throw. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Boy, he has been fun to watch throwing the football in this one. It's certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game. Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now because he has absolutely carved up the secondary. A clinic on how to attack the defense and take them out of the game. And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week? Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that. And now here is another interception. Andrew Booth picks it off. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold. And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of their best efforts of the season. Following the interception, Cousins. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Cousins to throw it. This one caught. It's the tight end, Hockenson. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. Charles, a lot of happy happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but, boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And, partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for Minnesota, they move back over 500 at 7-6. And they'll return home next week to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Meanwhile, for the Lions, you wonder what this will do to their playoff prospects as they fall to 8-5. And they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at MetLife Stadium with the New York Jets.